Okay, we are live. Welcome to game.
Hello.
Yes.
Mushroom spirits.
I should come up with an actual title for this other than stuff and nonsense, because that's
Mushroom spirits.
just what I called the Roll20 like forever ago when I joined and then didn't do anything with it. But I kind of like it as stuff and nonsense. It's kind of accurate.
It fits.
It is.
Mushroom spirits.
Yes, because otherwise
The building was not on fire when I went into it.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the party can recite that word for word.
Even Saerenrae by now.
Both sides of it. Inez's and Darvan's. Anyways.
Aiden's going to try it next time they get into the argument.
Anyways.
You'll, like, mouth along with.
Anyways. My name is Ari. I am the kind
Hi,
and benevolent DM.
kind, benevolent.
At least for now. I also play, in addition to everything else in the game, I play Darvan, our resident heel monkey.
Monkey's accurate.
Darvan!
Who also attempts to make things explode in the faces of people that aren't his party member.
And walk into burning buildings.
Yep.
It wasn't on fire when he went in.
He went in.
Well, technically it was on fire, but it wasn't collapsing when he went in. And he didn't know it was on fire because the back was not on fire. The front was on fire. He was going in the back entrance, thank you very much. Anyways, we also have Michelle.
Hello!
Hi, Michelle.
I play Inez, or Trogdor the Burninator, the very fire-obsessed dragon oracle svirfneblin. Svirfneblin.
Priestess.
Prophetess.
Yes! I have started my own religion!
Which is going to come back and bite you in the ass in a couple of different ways.
Thank you!
For one thing, I'm going to point out that there may be problems in the future in the module because you let a bunch of kobolds in the last
Oh, we're used to fighting
session.
lots of things.
Well, it may be possible that you may have needed to get something before they left. Possible.
Oh, the amulet thing? Yeah, no. That was just not gonna happen at that point.
Yeah. Anyways, Michelle also controls our NPC joined party member.
Yes. He is very obsessed with Sorin's butt. Still obsessed with Sorin's butt. He's definitely a butt man.
Might want to introduce him now.
You mean a butt kobold?
Yes. He is
Oh,
our
butt.
he is
Is
our
that
butt.
right along with the butt monkey?
Yeah, he is our butt monkey. So and so, who seems to fall in love with a lot of different things over time. It's not really surprising he got thrown out of his kobold society, now that I think about it. But yeah, he's Sorin's boyfriend, sort of. He's Sorin's kobold.
Yeah. We also have Zeke.
Hi, Zeke.
Hi, Zeke.
Why am I treating this like an AA meeting? Or something to that effect?
I think it would be more like a CA meeting, Crazies Anonymous.
Oh, there's definitely not an anonymous in that.
Alright, Zeke, you play.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, and what character do you have? Technically, this is
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder-esque.
Ish.
I play Aiden. He's our sorcerer. He actually prefers shooting things with a crossbow usually, and he also may or may not like to open doors.
I would put that strongly on the May side of things.
Just a little bit.
We also have Mia.
Hi, Mia.
I play a couple of people. They're kind of technically the same character a little bit. One of them comes about because the first one is Sorin. our druid, who happens to be the object of affection from our kobold.
Go figure.
The admiration of butts is not one-sided. He happens to be reasonably uncertain of how he wants to fight and is usually going between like 2 or 3 different ways of fighting every time, up to and including turning into a snow leopard and causing lots of confusion. The reason it's so confusing is because he has Cubla, his companion, who is mainly here for lunch, mostly lunch.
She's bored and she's hungry.
Spider in a bottle.
Spider in a bottle is a big part of it.
Yes.
She's bored and she's hungry.
And
she's also really young.
We have Will.
Hi, Will.
Hi, yes, I play Zinra, the half-orc barbarian, the tank powerhouse.
The smashy smash in a party full of smashy smashed.
Yeah, and the one who has probably consistently made goblins and kobolds
Pancakes.
pancakes, and also, you know,
Piles of jelly.
Jelly, jam, and dead.
We have all kinds of food things going on there. Jam, jelly, pancakes, pies, you know, as one does.
What I'll say is, like, also, you know, intimidating into point of probably them exploding, but...
Yeah. Alright, and with that, through a number of reasons, we're starting a little bit late, so we'll get right into it. Last time, you guys, you started going to all the different, well, mainly 4 farmhouses in the area. You were hired to try to figure out what's going on, because the lord of the town doesn't want to call in the big guns if he doesn't have to. So if he can find out that, oh yeah, it really is a small thing that's making a lot of livestock getting stolen and stuff like that, you know, he'd rather not. So he hired you guys, since you were in town anyways, to go out and find out some information and stuff. You started by going to a home of a dragonborn couple. You couldn't talk to them because they were under attack. And so y'all charged in, there was battle, there was fighting, and then there was Inez convincing the entire group of kobolds that she was the prophetess of the dragon goddess, or something like that.
Yep.
Something
love me and despair.
They were inclined to listen to begin with because they're already serving a dragon. It sounds like they kept muttering about the black goddess or something like that. It wasn't clear. Y'all weren't listening.
And then we also don't speak
Draconic.
Yeah.
Draconic. So we were relying on so-and-so to tell us what was going on.
Yeah.
He was not doing great.
He's a bad translator.
He was not translating. Well, a couple of them did speak common, but most of them didn't. And then they, Inez convinced them that one of them was an unbeliever, and they chased off to go kill it. And so they left, and you were like, oh, okay, now we'll talk to the Dragonborn. And they were a very cute couple. They told you lots of different things about different places, and you decided to go to the farm belonging to the Bardricks next, because, let's see, what was the phrasing you guys used? It was obviously the place that would be under attack next.
Yeah.
Judging by the description. So you guys accepted gifts of all kinds from the Dragonborn couple.
We also traded a little bit.
You traded a little bit.
Way more meat than we needed.
So you've got some stuff from them, and you are headed over to the Bardricks. It's not a very far distance. It's only a mile between each of these different places.
And we have a horse, because Sorin was like, wait, can we please have a horse? This
Inez
trip,
would like,
mainly
would
for
like
the town, but
Ines would like what?
Inez would like to sneaky sneak.
Okay.
Inez would like to fail at sneaky sneak.
Well,
Wow.
see if Ines fails at sneaky sneaking.
wow that you failed it, and wow that it was like...
Okay,
wow.
it was not an utter failure, but
You're not sneaky.
I think that you guys borrowed the
Yeah.
horse mainly for Inez's benefit. And it's kind
That
of...
sounds
Yeah.
about right.
So, you can't really sneaky sneak when you're on top of a horse. Because the Dragonborn had big horses. Because they're
What you're
big
saying
people.
is sneaky sneak, but cloppity clop.
Yeah, it's hard to sneaky sneak when you've got this big draft horse going clompa 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 clomp.
Clomp,
There's-
clomp.
a
Clompity.
judgmental stare
But
on
you
your
did
back.
not fall off the horse in a crash of noise.
Excellent.
So there's that.
Then you really would have had a judgmental stare going on.
I know, right?
So you guys are approaching the farm. Does anybody want to roll some perception checks as you approach?
Yeah.
I have to get to
Yes.
the right area.
I would like to try and redeem that terrible roll.
Be if I can get to the
I'll
right
take that.
area. Wow, Sorin.
You
Wow.
rolled worse than Sorin. You rolled worse than
Aiden.
Aiden. Yes, there it is.
Meow.
I'm a little tired.
That's fine.
Meow. Is Darvan
So-
rolling a perception or
No, Darvin's not going to roll a perception.
Darvan plus a perception.
meow?
Inez. No, wait, wrong one. Cubla, as you're going along, you recognize a couple of plants that Inez has picked before for her alchemical stuff.
Cubla sits at the side of the road and just starts going meow, 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 meow.
Darvan, the cat is sick.
Sorry, it's over.
Darvin, I think your cat's hungry.
Darvan?
Yeah, Darvin says, I think your cat's hungry.
Oh. No? Inez? Cubla found you some plants.
Plants! Inez comes over. Takes plants. Inez is actually excited about said plant, so she says a begrudging thank you to Cubla.
How much are your alchemical potion things again? Like 20?
Yeah.
So it's 5 gold's worth of alchemical junk plants.
Yay.
Cubla looks all sorts of pleased.
Everybody else, you, even Sorin, you see up ahead of you through the trees, you see a clearing, and an obvious farm. Unlike the last farm you were at, nothing's under attack.
Hooray!
It looks quite peaceful, actually.
People must have to sleep.
What?
If you can fall asleep if you want. The snores can be the sounds of the enemies that you fight. So you guys approach the farm. Let's see. It's probably getting on into early afternoon at this point. You see a human male out out in the fields, the main fields, and you see a human female about the same age as he is. They both look like they're in their early 30s. She's working in like the family garden. And you see A young male human helping the older one in the farm, in the field, and then the daughter is the young female. The daughter is with her mom. They don't see you yet. So four humans. Obviously a family. The parents are in their early 30s. The son looks like he's a tween, somewhere 10 to 12. The daughter looks under 10.
Sorin turns to so-and-so. Do you mind wearing a cloak over yourself again? They might make unfortunate assumptions.
Darvan points out that he could also stay back here.
So-and-so
He
makes,
could. Either way,
so-and-so makes grumble snarf noises and decides to stay back there.
you can stay with the horses.
Right.
Saerenrae, are you gonna leave your Drake behind with so-and-so and the horses?
Yeah. That
Okay.
might be it.
And the rest of you are going to approach?
Yep.
Sorin hurriedly ties a rope loosely around Cubla.
Meow!
I don't want them to make assumptions about you either.
Meow! Meow!
Hats.
Meow!
Hats.
Meow!
Hats.
Meow!
Jerky.
Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so as you approach, the daughter catches sight of you first. She kind of squeaks a little and hides behind her mom. Her mom calls out to the other two, and by the time you guys near, the four of them are kind of clustered in front of the door, ready to dart inside and barricade if necessary. They look very close to it, because they just noticed Saerenrae. They seem to be actively edging towards the door.
I'd like to gently wave to them.
They pause. It's like, okay, that's a good sign. The father steps in front of the rest of them, and he goes, "Greetings, travelers. What brings you this way? And who are you? You seem to come in peace."
Sorin's like, yeah. What was his name? Lord Tunic?
Tunic.
Yeah. Tunic sent us to check out the people who had lost livestock.
Ah. He,
And I will mention, Saerenrae will not hurt you.
he relaxes when you say that, but he also seems kind of... He doesn't quite roll his eyes when you say that Tunic sent you, but he comes close to it. So he's relaxed a little bit. The mother is definitely keeping the kids behind her, which is kind of difficult with the son because he keeps poking his head out and staring at you guys. The girl, you barely see her. She's staying right behind her mom.
Sorin waves at the little son. Like, really, really small wave. It looks a little bit like what Saerenrae did.
He waves back a little bit.
Sorin grins.
So I will tell you, you guys talk to them briefly and do all the introductory bits. So what you can tell about the family, they're farmers. The father is Jess Bardrick. You can tell that he's very protective of his family, but otherwise is a pretty calm guy, pretty easygoing. He's worried about the theft of farm animals, not just because of the loss of the animals, but because he's worried that it's going to start snowballing, and that somebody might try to hurt his family next. The source of his frustration, he's frustrated that the authorities of Ruinspoke still haven't solved the problem. You're the third group that's come out, and they still don't have an idea, kind of thing. The mother is named Vianne. You can tell that she's fully involved in every part of the farm, whether it's working with the animals or planting crops. They share the work equally. She has become more protective of her family since the livestock. You can tell that because Matan, the son, he keeps trying to come out closer to look at you guys, and she keeps calling him back so that he doesn't get too far away. The son doesn't think there's anything to be afraid of because he can take care of himself and everybody else, he can tell. He keeps trying to come closer and ask you guys questions about where you've been and what kind of weapons do you guys have and how do you use them. Can he touch one? It looks really cool. And what cities have you been to and what monsters have you... So he talks a lot. To oppose him, the daughter is Elena, and she's at least looked at you now, but she's hiding a lot. Loud, aggressive people kind of intimidate her. They're very friendly. They've become suspicious of people, which is why they hesitated a lot when they saw Saerenrae. But since you were able to say who you were working for, they're trusting you for now, but they are still ready to run for the door.
Let's say around the sun, I actually just kind of have my hammer just sitting there, held up in the...
One of the times that his mom is more focused on the daughter, he's going to go over and try to pick it up.
I've already rolled this perception, but I want Inez wanted to look around and see what defenses the farm has from what she can tell. She rolled a nat 20 on the first roll but didn't confirm.
The second one doesn't confirm?
Nope.
What?
It's showing up in the chat as a 31.
Yes, but it isn't a second 20.
That's not what the confirm needs. It needs to beat the DC. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well then, yeah, I see it all.
You see everything. So, one thing you do notice, other than the defenses, which I'll get to in just a moment, although the daughter is really shy and nervous, you can tell any time that somebody is talking about what they've seen, there's an expression on her face that makes you think she knows something that her parents don't.
Oh, good. I, the non-social character, will definitely help with that.
Totally!
Perhaps tell it to someone else?
But you're the same size as she is, so you're less intimidating than everybody else. So that may be helpful. You're cool and different. But we'll come back to that in a minute. There's other things I have to tell you. There's other things I have to tell you from conversation with them first, so we'll come back to that later, and also what you see.
Okay, great.
So these guys are not... the Dragonborn couple you were with, they were in the military. They had defenses that probably were better than what the town had.
Right.
These guys... They're farmers. They're farmers from a long line of farmers. They have a fence that's good enough to keep the animals in and to keep wolves out. But anything that has any degree of intelligence or is stronger than a wolf, it's like cutting ribbons.
Right.
You do see... You see signs. There's some pathways in the fort, very rough pathways that you can see from where you are, that don't look like animal paths or paths that, honestly, they, judging from, because I'm going to assume that when you see the pathways, you may go over and kind of look at them.
Mm-hmm.
You see sign of kobold.
Alright.
Because by this time, you know a lot about kobold sign.
Yup.
You see sign of kobolds going through the woods nearby. Let me see if there's anything else you know. Yeah, that's the main things you've picked up. Is the girl is obviously knows something, in addition to what her parents are saying, and the obvious, well, not obvious, but obvious to you since you have crazy eyes, signs of kobolds going through the woods nearby.
What do your elf eyes see?
Yes! Inez! What do your svirfneblin eyes see?
What do your swervel goggles see?
I think what's going on here is Inez is just closer to the ground than everybody else.
Pretty much, yeah.
Which, by the way, when we were introducing ourselves, Sorin explained about Cubla and has now untied her. It's
So,
like, I'm sorry, I would like to untie her. She's gonna kill me.
the girl's eyes kind of go wide, and she's like, "Kitty,
What?
kitty." She waves at
You
Cubla.
want a pet, Cubla?
Uh-huh.
Inez looks around, looks at these signs for a bit, and she goes, "So, how do you keep the kobold out? I mean, because I had to start a religion to get rid of them."
Jess kind of blinks at you. He's like, "What?"
The kobold! You know, the things that are running around your farm, leaving all these tracks?
He blinks.
Right.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The kobold tracks? She literally, starts pointing at them right here.
He's like, "I'm sorry, I don't know anything about tracks. I plant crops. I'm not a hunter or a ranger. I don't know anything about tracks. I could probably recognize pig tracks."
She's like,
I mean,
well, she'll be like, "You just have to forgive me, because the last farm we came from, the kobolds were trying to sacrifice the farmers to their goddess. So, forgive me. I'm just a little curious. Why are they not trying to sacrifice you to their goddess?"
Sorin's like, please stop crying. Here, you can pet Cubla.
the little girl hides behind her mom.
Sorin had rolled handle animals to see if he could get Cubla to agree to pets.
Yeah, he can do that.
It's like, please, do you want to pet the kitty? He's like, actually distressed a little bit.
She's like, oh, okay. And she kind of comes out and kneels beside Cubla and pets gently. Vian kind of glares at Inez a little bit.
Inez is going, "I'm not trying to be mean. I just really want to make sure you're okay."
Matan's like, "We can take on some stinking stupid kobold." Dad, what's a kobold?
Sorin's like, trying not to die.
So Jess is fully confused. He says, "So, do you guys have any specific questions for you, or do you want him just to kind of give a report and tell you things?"
Report.
Report, and then we might ask him more later.
Okay, so he'll tell you the same kinds of things he told the last couple of people. They've had 2 chickens, 3 goats, and a pig taken so far, and he doesn't. I mean, yes, it's bad that the livestock is being stolen, but he's worried more now about his family than anything else. Dernth, I think he was a dwarf.
Yeah.
Dernth is the only farm in the area that has not had any livestock taken from him. Maybe he's been thinking maybe he needs to get some better fences and some good guard dogs like Dernth has. They've never needed them before, but from this point on it might be a good idea. Honestly, he didn't pay... He didn't pay a lot of attention... Hold on just a sec. He didn't pay a lot of attention to the previous 2 groups of investigators, but his wife might know more.
Okay, this is too good a time to pass up.
We're suspicious, but we know nothing.
We're slowly getting better.
You think he's hiding something. All of you. And since...
Okay, gotta finish. Oh wow, Cubla, you actually rolled really well.
Hang on.
Jeez! Darvan!
Darvan.
Oh jeez!
Yes!
So-and-so!
What the hell?
Roll to confirm that.
So not even there!
He's just acting shifty from a long distance.
Okay. So-and-so, somehow, even though you're 500 feet away, just from what you can tell of his expressions, this is an honest dude. So you probably should stay away from him, because you're a kobold. Darvan, this is an honest dude. He, never lies about anything. The rest of you, you think he's shifty as hell and he's hiding something.
Excellent.
I mean, Soren's more concerned about the fact the daughter was crying and is letting pet Cubla, but
Cubla is distracted by being pet.
I think he's hiding something.
He's told you that that's all he knows, but his wife might know more.
I think he's hiding something.
Darvan's like, what are you on? No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
Mushroom
he's
spirit.
not. He is not hiding anything.
Can I roll a chance die to see if what Soren thinks he's shifty about is mushroom spirits?
Sure.
Inez has rolled, and I want this taken into account because she has a -1 on this roll. A 15 on her diplomacy to try and talk to this small child without scaring her to death.
It is successful.
Oh my gosh! Soren's like, I think he knows
Soren?
about mushroom spirits.
Soren,
Yeah.
you're pretty sure that this guy is running a secret mushroom spirit growth ring. You know, like a cocaine ring or a marijuana ring. This guy does mushroom
Darvan
spirits.
You should tell Darvan though.
So you are pretty certain at this point that he is actually a supplier of mushroom spirits.
Dealer.
Yes.
It's like, leads over to Darvan.
Mushroom
I think he's just a mushroom spirit provider.
For everything.
Darvan just turns and stares at Soren, and he's like, I think you're on mushroom spirits.
Inez thinks that he's
Soren's like, what?
shifty, so she's going to try and talk to the daughter who is hiding something or has seen something. So, you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the small child will be more truthful. Because, yes.
Okay.
Child currently distracted by Kitty.
So, you're getting a plus because she's being relaxed because she's getting to pet the kitty.
Yes, and I did roll a solid diplomacy check.
Yeah.
So
That plus the
Yeah.
bonus makes a success, and she she looks up at you as you come closer, and she kind of
Inez?
ducks behind the
Inez?
kitty a little bit. She's like, "Hi."
pets Cubla just to like
A little bit of a purry noise.
be friends, try to be friends with this small child. He goes, "Hi, it's a nice kitty, isn't it?"
Uh huh.
Inez is apparently better with small children than she is with grown people.
It's a big
Yeah, it
kitty.
happens.
Very soft.
Inez goes, "Did you see anything around the farmhouse?"
Uh-huh.
"What did you see?"
I saw lights. Late at night. Don't tell Mom. It's really pretty outside at night. I like to look at the stars. You get a better view if you're away from the house. And I saw some lights that aren't stars.
Like, stars are really pretty. Do you know I didn't see stars till I was over 20?
Whoa. It's a long time to not get to see stars. That's kind of sad.
I lived underground. I saw all kinds of other things.
How do you grow plants if you live underground?
You don't?
Then what do you eat?
Trust me, kid, you don't want to know.
She looks confused.
Meow. Meow.
Well, it looks like we lost Zeke for a minute.
Bye, Zeke.
Meow. Meow.
So she tells you that she's seen lights in the sky, and sometimes when she's been out there, she's heard things in the woods. There's been creatures moving around. She went really quiet, and she heard them moving around, and it was like hissing noises like a snake.
Okay. Inez relays that. Like, hold on to that for a second. She gets up and she still thinks the father is shifty as shit. And she's like, but she likes this small child because apparently we are good with this small child for no apparent reason.
Do you want to know the direction of the lights, or? Because she can point that out to you.
Inez would like to know the direction of the lights, but she is very concerned that this father is not protecting the small child.
So she sneaks out in the middle of the night, where there's kobolds walking around finding things to sacrifice to goddesses.
Yes, that.
She will point. She probably pointed it out when she said that she would like point to the sky when she said she saw the lights. So you know what direction the strange lights come from. It's away from the farms.
Inez is going to creep over to Zedra and
Zeke's computer is updating.
Oh,
and
Can you use your tablet? Or little one? Oh. Can you use your tablet for Discord and then that for Roll20? Why not? This one doesn't have Discord, but it would work for Roll20. He'll be on in 10 minutes or so. You could get on Discord on your tablet, listen in.
yeah, we're not doing any Roll20 stuff at the moment.
Inez will, once she's successfully disengaged with this small child,
Meow.
I'm gonna talk to my friend for a second. She's gonna come over to Sorin and Darvan and Saerenrae and be like, I am very concerned with this father letting this small child wander
I know,
out
I have concerns too.
with kobolds, but said small child has seen lights in the distance. That way. So, I think we should impress upon this lying bastard that he should probably put better defenses in if he likes his children, not kobold sacrifices.
I agree.
While you were talking with the daughter, the mom would have said a few things. She would have told you guys that the first group of investigators seemed very inexperienced and young. She thought that they should have been on a farm like themselves and not hunting down bandits. The second group seemed more competent, like they knew what they were doing. Matan pipes up at this point to talk about how they carried lots of really neat swords and axes, but not as cool as your guys's. Neither group ever came back, even though they promised to look into the matter, and the situation hasn't gotten any better. Roll me.
I assume they know which way they went.
She is not sure. She thinks that one of them headed. because they were doing a loop of all the farms. She assumed that they went to all 4 of them, which seems accurate since you have information about all 4 farms. So she believes one of them went to go visit the Dragonborn couple, and the other group headed towards Dernth's place. But it could have been the other way around, or she's not sure. They were kind of busy that day. And she was quite glad when the second group moved on.
Inez is like, is it suspicious to anybody else that there is a farm that just hasn't been attacked?
Well, it hasn't been attacked, but they have had a lot of livestock stolen. Or do you mean Dernth?
Dernth. I mean Dernth.
He doesn't keep livestock, apparently.
Well, but before now, there wasn't... It was... I mean, at first it was small enough things being taken that they thought it was just maybe a pack of wolves had moved in, or a particularly aggressive bear or something. It wasn't until after the second group disappeared that they kind of realized that there must be a bigger problem. I believe... Let me scroll down for a minute to the Dragonborns, because they had something to say about Dernth, if I remember right.
Wasn't he the one with all the treasure stuff, too?
Okay.
Dernth. He seemed odd, but nice.
Yeah, that
But
one.
weird. Not grumpy.
He trades in gems. His home
Yeah.
is well kept and defensible. Something odd about him. The Bardricks, they said they knew a lot about farming, but they really needed better defenses. Pickaxe Pult was a nice halfling who is out of town right now. That's what the Dragonborn couple had to say. Darvan looks interested in something, and he asks Vianne, "What do you mean you were glad that the second group moved on?" And she blinks for a moment. She goes, "Well, I mean, I hate to judge based on appearances, but they didn't really make me comfortable. I was uneasy while they were around. I mean, they were sent by a House Jolt, so they had to have been okay, but I was glad when they moved on."
Inez sits there and with absolutely no tact. Charisma goes, "Well, we're not exactly the most amenable looking group either, but I promise we're trying really hard."
She kind of smiles a little bit. She's like, "I don't get the same feeling off of you guys that I did from them. You may..."
Probably because we're not able to do anything with reasonable success. There's a bard who's very glad in singing about our shortcomings.
"You may look odd, but I get the feeling that you're good people. Even if you do speak before you think and scare little girls."
I didn't do anything. I just went to her.
Inez, another thing that I'll point out to you is the direction that the little girl told you that the lights were the same direction that the kobold's tracks seemed to go.
Oh, goody. My favorite. I started a religion somewhere I shouldn't.
Both Vianne and Jess tell you that that's really all that they know. They wish they could give you more information, but that's basically the same information that they had to give the previous 2 groups. Matan is still trying to lift Zenra's hammer. And
little bugger.
Elena is hugging Cubla.
Meow. Kitty!
She's like, I like you, kitty. You're really pretty.
Meow. Inez is like, oh, suck it up. He's cute.
Does the party still have extra meat stuffs?
Sure.
Soren's like, would you guys like some meat?
Does anybody have an extra weapon they're not using?
Soren has a dagger.
Someone should give it to Matan.
So Vianne says she would be glad of some meat. They are more skilled at farming than at hunting, and do not often take the time to partake of such a useless effort. She kind of chuckles and just looks.
Quick 30-minute lesson on how to make a trap.
If you'd like.
Sounds like, guys, do you mind if I give him a lesson in trap making?
Nope.
Would you like to learn how to make an easy trap? You happen to have a lot of wood around.
Jess blinks and is like, sure. I'm beginning to think that just farming skills is not enough. Vianne will go in and she's recently baked some bread, so she'll bundle up some of that for you guys to take with you. Elena is going to make a pretty necklace collar for the kitty.
Aww.
And actually, let me think about this. And Soren's like, goes over to Cubla. Cubla, play nice.
If
Cubla be nice.
If Cubla doesn't want to, have Cubla roll a will save.
Kubla's starting to get a little annoyed because she's been petted and stuff.
You succeed, but it is not a critical success. But you do succeed. It's like, Cubla, be nice. Oh, fine. For a while.
Offer some jerky.
Yum, 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 yum. Matan's going to... Well, Aiden's a sorcerer, and Darvan looks like a Healy guy, so Matan's gonna go over to Zenra and be like, hey! Do you have any cool stories or anything? And he's probably gonna spend the whole half hour trying to get stories and or some kind of training.
And I can actually imagine Zenra being silent this entire time.
So he'll probably spend the whole time. You look like you've done some cool stuff. Have you done cool stuff? Pause. I mean, you look like you've killed a bunch of people with this hammer. It's a really cool hammer. It's really big and just chattering the whole time.
Just can't tell. It's just like each notch you see on there's a kill, and there's.
Holy cow! I don't even think I can count that high.
You have just made a friend for life. Good job, Zenra.
How high can you count?
Pretty high. But I don't think I can count that high. Meanwhile, so-and-so is probably out in the woods going,
Nope.
Oh, God.
Let me pick some stray scales off my tail.
Because I want to pick my hammer up and just kind of... just fuck with it. Just
juggle it.
Kind of juggle it a little bit.
You don't even have to roll. He is gobsmacked. He's like, oh my gosh, that is amazing!
Inez will come over with some turkey to, what's the girl child's name?
Elena.
Elena? You're gonna snuggle the kitty. Why don't you give the kitty some food?
She's currently sitting right next to Cubla, like, doing something to make a collar, like tying knots or something to make a pretty little collar. She's
Flower
like,
crown.
yeah, flower crown. There we go. That's a good idea. Making a flower crown for Cubla. Every once in a while, putting it on Kubla's head to see if it's big enough yet, and then start continuing. She's like, "Oh, is the kitty hungry?"
The kitty is always hungry.
Da-ding!
The kitty will.
Welcome back.
You just missed Sorin offering to teach the father trap making.
Yeah,
Waiting around for like half an hour.
yeah. Brief summary. Soren's teaching trap making. The girl is making Cubla a flower crown. The boy is absolutely hero worshipping Saerenrae. So and so is off in the woods, boredly picking scales off of his tail. And you guys are trading, giving them some meat, and the mom is probably giving you a bunch of other random stuff in return.
As mothers do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And Inez is trying to prevent the small girl child from annoying the kitty too badly.
yeah.
Well, you know, Sorin did roll handle animal.
Yes, I understand. Inez is not good at social interaction. She has no idea. She is just concerned about this small girl child who wanders out of her house at night.
And is now petting the really, really dangerous snow leopard.
Yes!
Darvan kind of leans over to Adin. He's like, you know, maybe for the girl's safety, you should let her hold on to the bottle.
Are you sure you want her to hold on to the bottle?
How about if something looks like it's going to happen, I'd pull out the bottle.
Okay,
Better idea?
that could work.
And then I'll hand it to you.
So, she takes the jerky and she's like, pretty kitty, you want some food?
Perk up.
Hands.
Not sounding quite so annoyed anymore.
Goes back to making flower crown.
I'm working remote on you. Hold on.
Inez pats Elena gently, like, there you go. Now the kitty's not so upset. So-and-so is wandering around the woods looking for more kobold tracks just in case, because...
And
He's
leaving
a little-
some behind him.
Yes, because he is very afraid that the dumb shit clan are in fact dumb shits.
He finds some kobold tracks, but after a moment he realizes it's his own.
Okay,
He went in a circle.
good for him. He's trying.
He's trying.
Why
Yeah,
did I just
Soren's
picture
nowhere
at one
nearby.
point where Pooh Bear's circling the bush?
Now there's
you know exactly
another.
the scene I'm talking about, actually.
They've been joined by another woozle. Half a lonesome woozle. Woozle.
They're joined by another Ines? What?
What? A first novel?
Yes.
What the svirfneblin?
Okay, so Jess is actually a fairly quick learn. He picks up the basics pretty easily. You think that he should be able to start successfully trapping at least small things with regularity.
Are we supposed to have a turn order up right now?
Huh?
Are we supposed to have a turn order?
Yes,
thing?
because I always forget to have it up when it's time to actually do things.
Oh. Does that mean we can actually do things soon?
At some point.
Once
So
I'm teaching trapping and annoying Cubla.
Cubla now has a pretty flower crown. The sun has finally run out of breath and is being quiet for a couple of seconds. And the mom, Vianne, is it? Yes, takes advantage of his moment of taking a second to breathe to kind of call him back, and she's like, well, it was very nice meeting you all, but I'm sure that you have more work to do for House Jolt. It sounds as if you have only visited one of the places.
Yeah,
You guys are the second.
we visited the pigs.
You visited the... What was their name?
Ari, can you turn the dryer on?
Yeah, hold on.
We visited the...
The name is the
Somebodies. We visited the somebodies.
House
Ibigs. Big? Ibig? I don't even know how you
Ibig.
pronounce that. What was that noise?
That's me.
Oh.
Sorry.
No worries. Now that we've had the lovely, lengthy wait for Sorin to teach someone how to do traps.
Yup.
Why can't I just picture Soren doing all his teaching in a dry monotone like some professors? So,
Some teachers,
yeah.
you know, Bueller.
Anyone?
Bueller.
Oi. Alright.
I return.
Hello.
Okay, so at this point you guys have pretty much gotten all of the information that you're going to get from them.
Alright.
Cool.
Sorin's like, it was nice meeting you. Little one, do you mind letting me have my cat back?
Aww.
That's a very nice flower crown.
Okay. You should come visit again later.
We might. Cubla.
Aw. Don't worry, kitty. We can talk again later. Don't be sad. She pets Cubla some more. Don't be sad.
And as it's like you are very popular with the small, cute things.
So, at this point, as they return to their work, and as you get ready to go, Vianne has pressed on you. You've basically swapped a bag of meat for a bag of various foodstuffs, including some loaves of bread, a chunk of cheese that they make here. It's goat cheese, but it smells pretty good when you take a sniff of it. And some other small things.
Man, we're doing all the things that most people wouldn't do in D&D. We're even doing, like, making sure we've got good food. And...
Yeah, you're grocery shopping. Forget about finding the kobolds. Let's go grocery shopping.
I can just see our group. Man, I just imagined our group going to Walmart for some reason.
We are the people of D&D Mart. Actually, considering the house that's in power here, we are the people of Jalt Mart.
Inez would instantly play that game of what 3 items can you get to disturb the cashier.
Sorin would go immediately to the pets part and get cat food.
And treats. And toys.
Cat toys.
So what you're saying is Soren's the crazy cat lady?
Pretty much.
With one cat. It's big enough to count as lots.
Alright, so you guys, I'm going to assume you go back into the forest to meet up with so-and-so, who is looking around with a expression on his face of like, why am I not finding anything?
Yeah. Who is also
what are
bored
you
as
looking
fuck.
for?
Something wrong, so-and-so?
He's like, I was looking for the dumb shit clan, but unfortunately I am confusing myself.
Also, that took forever. He was so bored.
Yes.
What are you looking for?
I just told you. The dumb shit clan.
But what makes you think that they're out here?
It seems like something they would do.
Zenra, you found kobold tracks. They lead right up to the party kobold. I think I found oh, wait.
Yep. Yep.
Adin looks for evidence of kobold.
Well, first off, there's a kobold in your group. Second off, as you're walking back, you see the same traces of kobold tracks that Inez had seen. Oh, by the way, Darvan's like, what is wrong with you guys? You were so suspicious of that nice family.
He was full of shit, and his daughter wanders out in the middle of the night and he doesn't know it.
And he grows mushroom spirits.
He does not grow mushroom spirits!
Wait! Go back to that, Inez.
You don't know about that.
Inez goes, he lets his daughter wander out in the middle of the night. Or more precisely, he doesn't let her, but he doesn't know, and it's totally suspicious, and he totally does grow mushroom spirits. I absolutely believe you, Sorin.
Okay, what else
Please, one of these days, can someone just, like, smack Sorin?
We have.
So,
what did... roll to determine if I believed in mushroom spirits?
Well, technically, he would have to sense motive us, and we believe in the mushroom spirits, so the maximum he could ever find out was that we believed in mushroom spirits.
I mean, you could do opposed diplomacy rolls if you're trying to convince him of the mushroom spirits.
Well, I'm not trying to convince anyone of mushroom spirits. Sorin is convinced.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you could sense motive.
I'm going to just see what...
Look, not a single digit.
They are fully convinced of the truth of this mushroom spirit thing.
And then just for good measure, are there actually mushroom spirits?
Yes.
You know, there could be. You think it's a possibility, but you're not sure. They seem pretty certain that there are.
The druid is dead certain there are mushroom spirits.
It is.
I'm going to roll a common sense check.
That's much better.
Why do you...
Common sense tells you there's probably not mushroom spirits.
Guys, he's probably not growing mushroom spirits.
And what makes you say that?
I mean...
Zinra, as far as you know, there's probably not mushroom spirits. Probably.
But there could be.
You don't know enough to, you don't know. There may be some weird back-ass, middle-of-nowhere nature hole where there's mushrooms that have spirits. You're not sure.
Why can I just see our group ending up in this weird back-ass half full of nature where there's mushroom spirits?
It's possible.
I can actually see our group being there, and so I'm going, see? I told you so! Alternatively, those aren't mushroom spirits.
Those are onion spirits instead. So Zeke, you can't prove it that there's not mushroom spirits, but you're pretty sure there's not.
I am pretty certain that he's not a... I can't say that there's not mushroom spirits, but I can say one thing for sure. He was not growing mushroom spirits.
I mean,
but how do you know?
You could see the crops that were visible, and they were not mushroom spirit crops. They weren't even mushrooms. They were like wheat.
They could be grown somewhere else. For all I know, they can grow underground.
Darvan just rolls his eyes.
Goes, okay, enough. I want to go see the one who didn't have anything stolen from him, because what if he's in league with the kobolds?
You mean Darn?
Yes!
You want to go...
Darvan's like, well, it could be that he didn't have anything stolen from him, because it sounds like he doesn't have livestock.
Right, but what things only steals livestock and doesn't steal gems?
Things that want to sacrifice them.
He's like, first off, did you find out anything more from the girl other than that she sneaks out at night?
Yes, she sees lights in the and Inez spins around and points in that way.
The same area that you said you saw kobold tracks?
Yes.
Sorin says what direction that is.
Huh?
So Sorin says the actual direction, because he probably knows.
Probably. He's like, south-southwest.
Yeah.
Inez
Do
nods
I'm a druid.
and goes, yeah, in that way.
The south-southwest.
I think our group likes to argue more than actually get anything done.
Yeah, that's pretty common. Darvan,
That,
Darvan kind of looks at everybody, and he goes, okay, well, Inez votes that we go to Dirth's place. I'm more concerned if... I mean, you said that there's kobold tracks, and the kobolds... The other kobolds we saw were attacking the other farm. What if the kobolds that made these tracks come here and attack this family?
he has point.
There are kobold tracks over there.
I mean, I'm just worried about leaving that and then coming back later and finding all these people dead. Or taken to be sacrifices to the blue goddess or black goddess or...
The bruise goddess.
We just know it's not the second coming of the goddess, because that's such bullshit.
It is such bullshit.
Inez, how did you even come up with that on that much of a fly?
Well, she is really good at flying.
I also am a dragon oracle, and, like, it was just something in my blood. It called out to yell about dragons. I'm really good at yelling about dragons.
Maybe
And
you were divinely inspired.
Oh, please.
Maybe you were actually.
Maybe the
crossed
mushroom
dragon
spirits.
happening somewhere else. Did you just say mushroom spirits again?
Will you leave off with the mushroom spirits? Jeez!
Alternatively, share.
Darvan turns to so-and-so and he's like, you're a kobold. What do you think?
That tribe of kobolds was really fucking stupid.
Other than that, you know
I
how
don't
kobolds
think we need
think.
to be a kobold to know that.
Well...
How do kobolds
I mean, I
think
think, from what it sounds like, most of the attacks have been during the night, but the last ones at the Dragonborn house was during the day. Do you think they're stepping up their... whatever they're doing?
I'm going to have him roll for some sort of knowledge, because Michelle does not know anything about kobolds.
Probably get a bonus, because, you know, he is
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to... Because he is also, like, the black sheep of his...
Because he falls in love with basically anything that moves.
Pretty
and probably a few things that didn't.
I'm going to go
anything
for
that
a...
vaguely resembles a butt and jiggles.
I'm gonna say either, like, knowledge local or knowledge nature.
Oh,
I
I'm
was-
picturing
I was
this,
actually-
no.
for knowledge
Falling in
history.
love with Jello.
I was going to go with knowledge history.
That-
More about his history.
I would take that too, yeah.
Because they're all the same for me in terms of my knowledge checks, but knowledge history seems to make more sense for him with his koboldish
Okay,
upbringing.
I'll take that.
He knows nothing.
So and so.
Yeah, he knows nothing.
Someone's literally right there.
They're dumb shits.
Yep,
Who
that's
knows?
what he knows.
He knows. Who knows how to predict what dumb shits will do? They may pick him off a dartboard.
Meanwhile, at Dumb Shit headquarters. Alright, here's what we're going to do next for our attack.
Dartboard.
Alright. Well, if nobody else
you
wants
know,
to go see
they
Darn, do we want to go to the other farmhouse?
I think we were looking at what the kobolds were doing.
Well, you guys have a couple of options at this point. You probably don't want to go back to town until you've visited all 4 farms.
Yeah.
Or
So
nightfall.
going back to town is not really much of an option.
Or nightfall.
There are 2 more farms to go to. And you have the first group of kobolds that went herring off that you could go try to track down. Also, judging from what you know and the directions of things, these kobolds that you're seeing sign of are probably not the same clan as the Dumbshit clan. This is probably the knee knickers, which they mistook you guys for. Or they yeah, knee kickers, knee kickers. You remember they mistook so-and-so for being part of that other clan? This is probably that other clan. So you could try to find the first clan, you could follow these tracks and find the second clan, you could go to the other farms. Or you could just leave. Say,
Like we did.
peace off, bye.
Might
But
as well go talk-
then you don't get paid, then these families probably will get horribly killed, and the blue or black goddess will probably come down on you later. Like the one from the last one where the dragon pieced out. And you guys just keep accumulating a bunch of people that are going to show up later, like the goblin in the cave, and the dragon that left the cave,
They're all going
and
to team together to become
Erstrom,
the League of
and
Extraordinary Villainy.
yeah.
Alternatively, the League of Evil Exes.
That's going to get started if Sorin has a falling out with so-and-so. Who will be the first of the League of Evil Exes.
So he'll be
But he's still alive at that point.
So, what would you guys like to do?
I'd kind of like to see if anything happens here, but we also, it seems the lights come out at night.
It is
So
It is early evening, or I'm going to say by this point it's late afternoon. You could pretty easily make it to the next farm before dark.
but if we go there, what's the chances of us getting out of here before morning?
I'm sorry?
Why? He likes to tell and listen to stories.
Yeah.
Are any of us any good at telling stories?
There was
It'd be like getting a.
who
It would be
told
like.
stories to
Where's
get us
that
into
barb? We have him come tell the stories.
He's still a couple of towns behind you. He's trying to figure out just what the heck happened in your last module. There was a halfling who was an asshole, and there was
He's
apparently...
still thinking of rhymes for that.
Yeah, he's going asshole, smash hole, bass hole.
He's literally doing it the stupid way.
So the bard's a couple of towns behind you.
Fair enough.
He probably got held up when he was trying to research the, what was it? The Hall of Heroes Hall?
Yep.
Hang on a second, let me think for a minute.
So are we hanging on for a second or a minute?
Yes.
One locomotive.
Two locomotive.
One locomotive.
One locomotive.
Two locomotive.
One locomotive.
Three
One
locomotive.
locomotive.
Four
One
locomotive.
locomotive.
Five
One
locomotive.
locomotive. One
Six
locomotive.
locomotive.
Alright, guys.
Seven
Can't
left.
even count.
Oops, lost count. One locomotive. Two locomotive. Three
Alright.
locomotive.
If you guys are bored and you want to think of something with me, I was trying to figure out if we could build like a kobold detection thing here so that we could keep going, but if kobolds attack the farm, we would be notified.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anybody has any spells that might actually do that, now's the minute to tell me.
I mean, you guys are welcome to camp out at the farm there.
Yeah, but I would like to keep going because otherwise we will never get to this dragon I am absolutely certain is here. Inez's dragon senses are tingling.
It's your spidey sense,
here.
except dragons.
I want to know what those lights are.
Right.
You've told a potential secret to Aiden.
Well, staying here could help you figure that out, or you know the direction they came from.
I want to see them.
You guys are also welcome to split the party.
And that goes wonderfully.
That is always a possibility.
I love how amused you sound as you say this.
Me sound amused? I'm just pointing out possibilities.
Right.
Got a headache.
I will, given that I don't have any spells that will work for this, I do have some craft, I think? No, I don't. But I'm going to attempt to craft something that will alert me if the area around the farm is disturbed. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to try. Please? Why are you not pressing the button saying... Sorry. My computer's being stupid.
As computers do.
No.
Computers make your life easier.
Oh, no, I do have... Okay. I'm going to attempt to use my alchemy to do this, actually.
Okay.
I actually have a solid roll on this.
Jeez.
Yes!
What jeez?
Roll to confirm that?
No jeez!
Roll to
Yes!
confirm that?
I just closed it because I did confirm it.
Well, see if you could double confirm it.
I'm sure it's confirmed now.
Me too.
That's probably not a
Okay,
confirmed.
it's single confirmed. You have a single confirmed critical success. Essentially, what you end up fashioning, and you managed to do it without using up any of your personal alchemical supplies, is you managed to set up a sort of dual warning and security system. So, if, and you explain to the family how not to trigger it themselves. If somebody intrudes on the farm, and they can also set it up to only take effect at night.
Okay.
Also, it can be manually begun. You know, they can have it on active mode at night, and then during the day they can have it so that they can trigger it. So essentially what has been set up is a dual security and warning system. If something intrudes into their property, it essentially sets off a fireworks display.
Yay!
That is bright enough and loud enough to be heard for a couple of miles around. So should be within... Actually, the town should be able to see it from here.
Great.
And it will also throw up kind of a wall, a temporary wall of fire.
Okay.
All around the property.
So it'll just give them a couple of minutes.
Does she explain how to reset it so it will work again? Okay.
It will. Inez would have to reset it. It is a one-time use thing.
Alright, after that, Inez will be like, okay, look, we have some time before darkness. We probably should investigate what the kobolds are doing, but let's be real, if they're camping out around this farm, they're probably already canvassing it. So this will set an alarm off if they do get attacked. and then we can check the nearest farm, whatever's nearest, to see if there's any kobolds there. Because if there are, then we can make sure that we don't let the villagers die, and if they are there, we can just follow the kobolds from there.
Okay. Jess seems grateful. He's amazed that you guys are putting so much effort in for them, and he is very grateful.
How long is it till dark?
It probably took a couple of hours to set that up, so it is very late afternoon, early evening at this point. It is already a little gloomy in the forest, in the woods proper, but it probably won't be full on dark for another hour. You could ostensibly make it to the next farm before dark.
How many cats first levels do I have at this point? I have...
And Soren's like, well, I wanted to teach you trap making because you have little ones.
You probably had time while Inez, because nobody could really help Inez with it.
Yeah.
You probably could have taught him the next level of trap making while you were waiting.
Yep. Takes that time.
I also want to know, since you're there for a couple of hours, would you have said, "Hey, I have a friend," so that so-and-so doesn't have to wait boredly in the...
Yeah.
Actually,
it's like, so... We have a friend that I did not come introduce earlier.
So-and-so's like awkwardly standing there like, hey.
And Vianne's like, why? Is there something wrong with your friend?
He's a kobold.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He's a kobold.
Jess is like, isn't that what you said was going around and stealing livestock and being
I
gained?
promise he's not doing that. He's been traveling with our party for the past
this kobold's been
while.
This kobold's been here out of love for our druid.
Jess looks concerned.
We're as confused as you are, to be honest.
Elena goes, dragon!
Ines is like, I love this child.
And so since you guys bring the horses over too, then the Drake will be there. She's like, little dragon and two-footed dragon.
Horses.
So-and-so's like, close enough, I'll take it.
And horses.
She goes over and pets so-and-so's tail. She's like, pretty.
So-and-so looks a little alarmed, but also doesn't stop her.
Cubla goes off into the woods to go hunt, because she does not want to have petting session again. The once was enough.
Proceeds to make flower crown for so-and-so too.
Aiden just plays with his dancing light spell for the entire 2 hours, because he can't really help
Does he not
anybody.
prestidigitation?
No, he finds dancing lights because it's getting darker, and so they're casting really fun shadows.
Okay.
Is that why you were looking at your spells? To see if there was...
Partly. I was looking at spells for the fact it's getting dark, and do we have our own horses for this journey? Or are we on foot?
Yeah.
You guys got horses from the Dragonborn couple, and from the town. So between the two of them, you have horses for everybody.
Because Aiden can also summon himself a horse. Because he's smart and learned how to use horses as magic.
Cubla, you don't find anything. Not even a rabbit.
Disgruntled.
Slinks back into the clearing later.
Aiden's just playing with the dancing lights.
Vianne will make dinner, share with all of you guys. So time passes. You've taught...
Aiden's just entertaining the sun with dancing lights and ghost sounds.
It's cool. Not as cool as weapons. He keeps going over and asking Zenra more questions.
If it gets dark, so I assume we're just staying here till it's dark now, given...
It's early evening. You guys could make it to another farm before full dark.
I'm just stating that it would take me time to both finish this if it takes me all these 2 hours and then eat.
There's enough time that you could have accomplished all that and still be able to make it to another farm if that's what you guys choose to do.
Okay, well, I've made all the decisions I'm going to, so someone else makes them.
So at this point, you guys can stay here, see if anything comes and triggers the traps. You can move on to another farm, feeling confident in the fact that if anything comes, you will get notice that it happened, and the flame wall should hold them off long enough for you to get back.
Which farm is closest at this point?
It's about equidistant. Same amount of time for either.
I vote that if we move on, we go to we go see if the halfling's home, because, well, if he's had more stolen, we can see if he's noticed anything as well.
You have... Hold on.
We have the halfling and the dwarf.
Pickaxe Polt, the halfling, who's had some livestock taken.
And Dern, who's had none.
The Dragonborn told you that he is not there.
On Dern or on Pickaxe?
Pickaxe Polt, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Pickaxe Bolt. He's not
He was...
home.
He was... Sorry, scrolling.
He was out of town on business.
He's probably on his extended absence.
He's helping out with some kind of mining project in the Underdark.
Yeah.
So he is not home. As far as they knew, Dernth was home.
I guess we could head to see Dern, or we can make a brief investigation of Pickaxe Pulse farm, see if we notice anything unusual.
I mean, if he's not there, it would be a pretty easy thing, because you could just go there, poke around, see what information you can find out.
Yeah. It probably would be faster, and it does have some evidence of the crime we're supposed to be investigating. And if there's no evidence of kobolds there, that tells us something else, too.
Yeah, you've got definite evidence of kobolds at the previous location, and some sign of kobolds here.
Inez, when she finishes doing this, just marches off towards Pickaxe Place, because she's bored of waiting.
Inez!
Bored
Inez.
of waiting!
Get a horse!
Darvan's like, we were waiting for you! He hurries after Inez.
Darvan!
You were the
Darvan
one doing things!
Darvan,
Yes.
horse! Guys, horses!
Ugh. Fine.
Stomps back,
Inez.
grabs horse, gets on
Inez.
awkwardly.
Attempt to ride a horse.
And it falls off the horse.
Correct.
I would start with a
do a
fly
handle
check
animal?
to get up onto the horse.
Can Sorin aid her with a handle animals check?
Sure.
Okay. He's going
Okay,
to...
Depending on-
on the horse.
So,
Successfully get high enough.
you get high enough, the horse moves right as you go to land, and you end up back on the ground. Sorin holds the animal so that it will be easier for you. You can use the same fly check, but just to roll another ride.
I do not have much skill in this whole thing. Why?
Roll a confirm.
Yes!
Jeez.
No.
Not confirmed, but you do successfully get on the horse. The horse kind of waffles at you, but will listen to you. In fact,
waffles.
it's more of a, it will follow behind other horses.
Yeah.
You don't have the most spirited of horse.
Inez waffles back at it and says, "You try being this short. I'll make you wander around underground, see how you like it."
As you guys move along, the horse purposefully makes the ride very bumpy. She's probably
Aiden
getting
also-
some decent air.
Can Aiden hold his quarterstaff while he's riding?
Sure.
He casts flight on the end of his quarterstaff and takes the lead.
Okay. Zenra,
Soren's like, yeah, whatevs.
do you have a horse or are
He
you just
gets on
walking?
his horse flashily while looking Aiden in the eyes.
Rex. Ugh.
You have the opposite problem of Ines.
When you get on the horse, it plants all 4 feet and refuses to move.
Try that.
After kind of encouraging it and, trying to befriend it, it kind of snorts at you, and then follows everybody else, but 5 paces behind them.
Good enough.
So you don't have problems with your horse.
Darvan?
Your horse thinks you're kind of weird, smelling human thing, but okay, whatever.
So is make faces at the other two.
Darvan-
Bumpy ride?
Yeah, barely riding. Doesn't fall off, but it's not a very easy ride. Cubla, a rabbit flashes out in front of you.
Catch!
Yum, yum, yum.
Happy yums! Happy yums!
You're getting left behind now, though.
Run.
Wow.
Happy.
Okay, so you guys are headed towards Pickaxe Polt. Let me take a look at that, because I was not expecting you to go there.
Why didn't you?
I don't know, that's dumb of me.
You gave us all the options. I kept insisting I wanted to see dirt because of reasons, but
Okay.
Yeah. That's an even better reason.
So you guys head through the woods, following the map that you've been given, and you're coming along. You find yourself approaching a small farmstead. It's much smaller than the... I've already forgotten their names. Bardricks? Bardricks. It's much smaller than the Bardricks. And you see, before you even get there, signs that somebody is there. Currently.
that's weird.
Do you continue
Inez?
on? Do you stop and take a look?
Inez
One
would
sec.
like get off the horse with a fly, hopefully. Not great, but not terrible.
It doesn't take much to get off a horse.
Yeah, and then I'm going to try and stealth.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Meow.
As usual.
Cubla just straight up disappears into the darkness. Because at
My
this
stealth-
point, it is pretty
Amazingly-
dark.
Because she's mostly grey and white.
Going to. Okay.
So and so would
I
like
also
to
rolled
stay with
perception.
the horses.
So-and-so would what?
Like to stay with the horses.
Okay.
I'm annoyed at my stealth rolls because my stealth is a plus 11. Just saying.
That is a really low roll for you then.
Right.
Darvan beat you.
Yeah, I know.
I'll look at it.
I'd like to roll a perception as well.
Yeah, no. Anybody who might be interested in moving along stealthily, roll a stealth. Or, not even that you're trying to be stealthy, just that you're trying not to outright be seen. You're not sneaking.
Yeah, for now.
Does
I have
anybody
a-
try to talk
Yeah, I
Aiden
didn't.
into trying to hide a little?
Aiden, you might want to be a little stealthy.
At
Or
least
not
until
clonky clonk.
At least until we find out what the situation is. And I'm just going to roll
He pouts
this.
a little.
Okay, everybody tell me their stealth rolls, what they ended up with.
14 for Sorin, 32 for Cubla.
Cubla is hidden the crap.
Inez was 14.
Darvan is 19.
Adin is 13.
Okay, so everybody below 19, if you approach the cabin, you will be seen. Before we do that, though, let me see what I can tell you.
Yeah.
So you see, what you see right now, it's a small garden with a small cabin with a muddy garden. Obviously he's not great at gardening. It's not awesome. It seems that he's tightened up its security these days or something. There's a burly human standing guard at the front of the cabin. He hasn't noticed you yet, but he looks like he wouldn't be pleased to see you if he sees you. You only see the one, but if he's standing guard outside the building, it's possible there's somebody inside.
Do we see, like, smoke coming out of the chimney or something, too?
Yeah, there's signs that there's...
Yeah.
people in there.
Let's say, are these, homely signs or ransacking signs?
It appears that somebody or a group of people is staying there. It's not a hit and run. He's not standing guard and waiting to, he looks alert, but also kind of relaxed, not in a tense, we're stealing everything and getting the fuck out of here way. But just I'm keeping an eye on the things in the area way. He looks a lot like an adventurer. Like you guys.
Oh, cool. So
Would you say he looks like a lot like an adventurer until he takes an arrow to the knee?
Sure.
I'm not going to arrange that with some crossbow bolt.
Nice.
Adin decides to do the most sensible thing to do here.
Jeez.
Let me take a look. Hold on.
Sorin could detect poison.
You do not detect any magic.
Zero can detect fist.
So Darvan kind of looks at everybody else and he's like, okay. Well, it's full dark now and we're here. I do not think that this looks like a... What did I say it was? A halfling? Pickaxe? Yeah.
Yeah.
That does not look like any halfling that I know of. Unless he's had a severe growth spurt. Do we want to go talk to him? Or do we think he's a danger?
I knew this one halfling from while I lived in the city. He was about 6 feet tall, and Adin just comes up with some bullshit.
Can I send
roll to detect bullshit? Let's see. I think we usually do perception when against diplomacy. Maybe. You never know with people. Darvan is willing to listen. He's like, oh, okay. That's weird.
He just tells a brief story.
Inez wants to sense motive on the guard.
Okay. He is, from what you can tell, He is...
God damn it! Ow!
You okay?
Fuck! Yep, hold on, I'm muting myself.
Sounds
didn't
like a
sound good.
failed dex roll.
I know,
Dex
right?
save.
Makes me wonder what the hell just happened.
Probably a cat.
A cat?
Yeah, they have 4. And a dog. And a snake.
And a snake.
And a snake?
Yep.
The snake's thankfully basically just a pet rock.
Yep.
Not a danger noodle.
No. Not a danger noodle.
So your sense motive tells you, from what you can tell looking at him, he is not exactly guarding the place. He is standing watch, and
He's doing what we do at night.
he doesn't belong to this place. Is probably a good way of putting it.
Inez
So,
will turn to Darvan.
While they may
Darvan
be
and-
staying there, him and whoever else is in there, they are concerned enough about people coming by that they are keeping watch.
Inez is like, I want the information, but I'm 9,000% certain that I cannot start a second religion, and that is the extent of my diplomacy.
Darvan's like, I mean, do we want to, like, knock him out? Or... I'm relatively certain I can sneak up on him.
Soren's like, I don't trust my stealthiness. I may have a snow leopard, but
Inez goes, okay, everybody stay calm while I suggest this, but what if I go a little bit into the woods and I create a small fire
no.
as a distraction?
Do you want to start a forest fire?
Yes.
No.
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 Darvan's like, well, it would be distracting.
No.
Right.
No.
Yes!
No.
Look, we'll have Smokey the Owlbear coming to kick our ass. No.
Alright, well, what if I sneak into the forest and light a contained fire as a distraction?
Soren, you could go with her.
Contained
You could create
owl.
water and put it
Exactly.
out as soon as...
Both of us have create water.
Like exactly as soon as she makes it, because he does not believe in this.
Well, then it would have smoke.
Right. I
Or-
just want... Look, we can build a trench. I don't care, but I would much prefer him investigating the fire than us. Because the last time we tried to talk to people, that went splendidly.
Well, the last time we tried to fight people, that went splendidly also.
Hey, I saved them. I just didn't do it right.
Darvan says that the fire can be very distracting, especially when it falls on you. He thinks that maybe it's worth giving a shot.
What?
They could try a couple of different tactics. If that doesn't work, maybe Adin could lead the guy away from the building with dancing lights, or maybe Cubla, because Cubla looks like a animal from around here. If the fire doesn't work, they can try something else.
And I thought you'd be proud of me. This time I didn't walk up and set him on fire.
That's an improvement.
That would be a distraction.
Yes, it would, but it wouldn't make him inclined to move away from the building.
Yeah,
It would-
He wouldn't
I
want to set the
probably
building on-
would.
He wouldn't want
Yes.
to set his friends on fire.
Guys, we want to find out who's in the building. We don't want him screaming that he's under attack.
Well, he wouldn't be under attack. He'd be on fire.
That is under attack. Look, Inez gives up because she's just like, look, my fire is the best plan you got, and you are being little shits because you just don't want me setting things on fire.
I don't like you setting the forest on fire.
Then help me build a trench.
Darvan thinks it's a decent plan to try. They can, if they do it with enough planning, they only have to get him a little ways away from the building, and then Zenra can go knock him on the head.
Exactly.
Can't we simulate the fire with the dancing lights of...
No, Aiden, because fire has real things that you can smell and feel and touch. And dancing lights are just little magic lights. So unless you want to... Look, if the plan is to lead him away with the fairies, that's fine, but we gotta do that too.
The smell of fire would probably be enough to lead him, so if Inez and Sorin work together to set a safe fire a little distance away, and it wouldn't have to be a very big one, just big enough to make some smoke. And so if they built a smoky fire, then Adin could use his sylphiness to blow the smoke smell over to the guard, which probably would be enough to have him go investigate.
And then we both have create water, and since we're talking about this plan this time, we could put the fire out.
Soren's like, fine. Cubla, stay.
Hey, Sorin, let me see your stick for a minute.
What? Fine. If...
That way,
I'll
it's Darvan.
stick back to... What?
Alright.
Just light on the end of the stick. Now Darvan can see if he goes with you.
I'm going to
Could
use...
you give him your stick?
It's my stick.
That's my stick. It has, like, holy...
Darvan rolls his eyes.
That's
He's
mine.
going to stay with the horses.
I'm going to use alchemy to do it because I don't want to use any of my splash weapons because they have multiple fire things, so I don't want to send 60 feet of fire anywhere or 30 feet of fire anywhere, so I would...
You could also use survival to just start a fire the normal way.
Or you can have Adin do it with magic.
Why would
Or,
Inez
you know...
do anything that way?
Plus
Besides-
10.
Besides, my alchemy is a plus 10, so I might as well do it that way.
Sorin, roll a survival to build the fire-safe precautions.
Haha.
So Sorin creates a safe space to make the fire. Inez starts the fire. Aiden, do you have something you can roll, like an Arcana check, to use wind?
I'm gonna use roll Arcana to... or...
Arcana would work.
I'll use... Yeah, I was looking to see if anything made more sense, but... I'll use Arcana to determine if I can... where I move the wind.
So you figure out how to make the winds do what you want, and you blow smoke towards the guard.
And I should have had like a +2 on that for being a sylph or something.
Yeah. Inez, you knew, you had some alchemical ingredients that meant you could make a very small fire that would produce a shit ton of smoke.
Excellent.
Soren also helped by creating water on top of some wood, and thereby drenching it, and now it's smoky.
So the guard kind of sniffs the air, and he mutters to himself, and he's like, "That's the last thing we need is a fucking forest fire." And he grumbles and moves forward to take a look at it, because he wants to make sure that there's something there before he yells at everybody, because where it's so smoky, he's not sure what it is. So he moves away from the entrance to the door.
Fair enough.
Why can't I just picture Saerenrae hiding behind the tree and then clubbing him in the head?
That's probably at this point the best idea. Pull a
Also,
Bugs Bunny thing and just...
I pictured the Indians in Peter Pan.
It's kind of got like the oversized Acme Company bat.
Yeah.
Or a really bad Wile E. Coyote cartoon.
I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. You successfully knock him out.
I'll take it.
Yay!
Drops like a stone. Darvan goes over and makes sure you didn't accidentally kill him. He's fine. He's good. 2 thumbs up.
Soren goes over, ties the guy up, gags him.
Adin lets the wind return to normal.
And I assume you guys put the fire out.
Yep.
Yep.
At that point, I think I am going to call it for the night. We will proceed with the interrogation and the ensuing whatever
Commotion.
after that. So, unless anybody has anything else they would like to discuss or do,
Have a good night.
I will write down my thoughts on that possibility of the rumors and post it up at some point. And
I'll make sure to get on Roll20 at a time that is not just game, so that I can go look at that.
Yeah, once in a while I do post things. Not often, usually just summaries.
Yeah.
But anyways, with that, I am turning off the stream.